This preview brought to you by Harness Racing Victoria.
And it's a tremendous night of harness racing coming up at Melton's Tabcorp Park tonight. There's 12 races. There's a real trotting theme to the meeting tonight, with both of the absolute features on the strong card being for the trotters as opposed to the pacers. First event scheduled to go at 12 minutes past 5, and let's get straight into our preview, and we'll focus on the fixed odds movement on the races available as we go through. Just note on fixed odds, the tab bookies will be opening further fixed odds markets throughout the day in the lead up to the 12 race card tonight. But let's get into the first event, and I'm actually going for a little bit of value in this opening race. So going outside of the odds-on favourite, or the pre-post odds-on favourite, in Magical Telf. I think he's a nice horse, but no absolute star, and just being drawn 3 out on the back row now means that I'm willing to go for some value. I actually think It Is Billy is the best horse in the race, but it has now drawn inside of the back row with the emergency Royal Witness out. Now that means that Anne-Marie Conroy could potentially be held up 3 back the inside and needing luck, but I'm still happy to go at the value, maybe around the $4 or $5 mark on It Is Billy. To beat Blue Sealster, who's been a real improver in recent weeks, regally bred but needed time, does have the draw in one and has been showing better gate speed. Magical Telf in the mix, but I don't want to be on at the short odds. And then Our Ballabro has really good gate speed. It may lead, and with Blue Sealster on its back looks the likely scenario. But It Is Billy for me to beat Blue Sealster, the favourite Magical Telf for third, and Our Ballabro in for fourth in race 1. Let's go to the second event now, and this is just one of a number of trotting races on the program tonight. And it's a heat. It's final from heats that were run, and had we not had the heats and it just been a race itself, Purple People Eater would have been an odds-on favourite and probably just turned up and won in the eyes of most. Produced probably the worst run, if not of its career, certainly this preparation for the powerful Chris Lang team. And I guess it raises question marks going into this race, but I'm willing to forgive it. Got an easy lead, uncharacteristic flop last time. To me, there had to be some sort of excuse. On its previous form, I think it's just too good for these. 13 Sundon's Promise can find a lot of trouble, and it's certainly far from foolproof, but it was very, very impressive winning its qualifying heat. If it does everything right for trainer-driver Daniel Jack, it's going to be very hard to hold out. Wrapped in a Rainbow was a strange sort of win. It was an easy win in the finish, but it looked under pressure a long way out, but it just kept on finding, and it has drawn the front row. And next best, I'm Demi-Mondaine, has drawn the back row, but certainly can be competitive here. Maidstone Miss led, looked as though it had the race under control and was pretty weak late, so I've left it out of my top 4. But giving Purple People Eater another chance in race 2 at, I don't know, probably around the $3.50 mark would be as short as I would want to take tonight. Let's now go to the first of the features, and this is the Tatlow final for the baby trotters, and there's a couple of them stand out here. We might have a look at the fixed odds market on this one. So the market opened with I'm Stately. We'll have a look at the replay for this one. I'm Stately as well, but I'm Stately $3 into $2.40. Bets of $2,000 at $3, another $2,000 at $2.80. So it's been easily the best backed. Miracle also coming from the back row at $3. Illawong Moonshine has drawn nicely in the pole and is at $3.60. I think it should be bigger odds than that. I think I'm Stately will start even shorter than the $2.40. So all the money I'm Stately, 3 into $2.40 in the fixed odds. Just having a look at my thoughts on the race, and not sure if I've got that replay ready to go back and have a look at I'm Stately in the qualifying heat. So it's drawn the back row this time. It gets a long way back in the race. I'm Stately makes a move around to sit outside of the leader, and is really just nursed around the home bend, and then balances up I'm Stately for David Jack and just opens up to win well. Now it showed really good speed from back in the field to get outside of the leader. David Jack then sort of grabbed hold again. No doubt this young trotter's asset is speed at the moment, and manners seem to be pretty good as well. I'm Stately, a bit of a standout for mine. Miracle's very, very consistent and has got above average ability, but just looks a little bit one-paced for mine at this stage. Illawong Moonshine has got a hope from the draw, but I think it's under the odds. And Edge Hill does actually boast a win over I'm Stately. has been mixing its form a little bit and also has that back row draw to contend with. But I'm quite keen on I'm Stately ahead of the other favourite, Miracle, in the Tatlow 2-year-old Trotters Final, race 3. That's also the first leg of the Big Six tonight, which has a $25,000 jackpot. Pool should really build to a good figure there, and we'll talk about my thoughts on the Big Six shortly. Let's now go over to the fourth event tonight. And remembering with the meeting getting underway early, race 4 is even being run at 6:47. So now this race to me depends on which Johnny Quid turns up. I'm willing to be forgiving last start. In a race that probably should have suited it, it was nicely positioned in a good trail, pulled out in a really frantically run race, eventually won by the classy mare Lama Shane, and it just battled in the run home. It didn't have the powerful finish that Lama Shane was able to produce. I think Johnny Quid enjoys racing right up on the speed. Even a little chance it might be able to just keep on working forward and get the lead here. So I'm giving Johnny Quid another chance. I think his best would win this. To beat number 1 Illawong Kath, who's consistent and has the right draw. 6 Astronaut shouldn't be too far away and is racing in terrific form, but just has that wide draw to overcome. And give us a grin at some sort of value odds for trainer driver Marnie Bibby might be able to get into the finish somewhere as well. But I think Johnny Quid's best would be good enough to win this. 5, 1, 6 and 8 in race 4. Let's go to another good race here. This is the fifth event, and I quite like Repellum here. Repellum's performance in the Queen of the Pacific from the standing start under the circumstances after not really having a good getaway was fantastic. Now, this mare came over from South Australia and just enjoyed a rich vein of form. A mystifying flop where something had to be wrong 2 starts ago. The feeling was that she was back on target for a much better race last start, and I thought the performance was good. She's got very good gate speed, putting her on top, Repellum. Now, Donegal Delight, I don't know what to think of it. It was very heavily backed pre-post in the Queen of the Pacific, had fantastic New Zealand form before coming to Alan and Amy Tubbs, missed away in the Queen of the Pacific from the stand, but then after that, the run was just dreadful. Too bad to be true. Suspect there had to be something wrong, and I'm wary of big improvement from Barrier 2 tonight. Summer Race is racing super consistently, but just has to come from outside of the 2 main dangers. And I'm Barney Rubble. I've just got a feeling this is going to make a nice horse. He's definitely a horse who prefers being off the front row in his races, so Barrier 11's not going to help, but I think the penny will drop at some stage, and I can see this horse eventually getting right through to open class racing. But Repellum for me in a very suitable race, 1, 2, 4 and 11 in race 5. Over to the sixth event here. This is an MO, so for the non-winners in Metro Racing. And I think it depends on Macca Kelly being able to get right into the firing line. There's no doubt Macca Kelly's the best horse in the race. Form has been okay without getting carried away since being transferred down from Bernie Kelly's stable to the Emma Stewart stable. I think there was a sense of expectation this horse might just set the world alight. Definitely loves being in front, as last time, but proved nothing in slow time. And I want to see him right up in the scrum, maybe even coming round to sit outside the leader in this race tonight. Going with Macca Kelly. Time for the horse to stand up. I think on his best form he would be too good for these. He was a very good 2- and 3-year-old. Now Pine Vale Willpower will have huge support here. First up, has terrific gate speed, and everybody's raving about a sensational recent Shepparton trial. What a fine fella's drawn wide but racing exceptionally well. And we've also got to put Ki Yang Rustler into the mix as well. Ki Yang Rustler has drawn in Barrier 6, but 10 ahead of 5, who is the trial horse of the night, if you like, and a bit of a spruik horse, and then 7 and 6. 10, 5, 7, 6 in race 6. The free-for-all is the Captain Sandy free-for-all race 7 tonight. And as we've seen in recent free-for-alls at Melton, they're a pretty even bunch. And this is no real exception to me. As last week I mentioned, I thought Smudge Bromack was a really good value bet. Got out to about $12. Ran home. I thought he was going to win with about 80 metres to go, but he just peaked on his run. He's racing exceptionally well, and I think that these are very, very even, these free-for-alls. He'll need luck, of course, but he's going to be good value odds again. So I'm sticking with him. He nearly did the right thing for us last week, Smudge Bromack, on an each-way basis, the 10. To beat Broadway's Best. Good signs last time. Now, this mare's got terrific gate speed. She could balance up and push forward and Even if she doesn't find the lead, she'll be right in the firing line. She might just be ready to show her very best here now, Broadway's Best. Number 13, Jack in Flight, has been a revelation in recent runs, but it's very hard from outside of the back row over the 17.20 there at Melton. And then Decorator Jasper. Form okay, but he is down in grade anywhere near his best form, and he can show electrifying gate speed. Some hope he could brush across them and find the front here. 10 each way. Love this horse at the value to beat 4, 13 and 6 in race 7. The other feature tonight, race 8, the home field for the 3-year-old trotters. And we see this wonderful Kiwi filly, Habibti. New South Wales Oaks, New South Wales Derby winner, emphatic on both occasions. Fixed odds market. She's been a little bit easy. She opened short enough at the $1.70, out to $1.60. The Boss Man's had support at $4.20. Roy Hobbs has been 5 into $4.50. And still a sixpence. Little nibble, 51 into $41. Well, look, all of the ifs, buts and maybes on the locals aside, and I speak mainly of the Boss Man and Roy Hobbs. Habibti is a star. It does worry me a little bit going back to the sprint trip from the back row, but I think Habibti's going to be very, very hard to beat here. And I want to go back and have a look at Habibti's performance. This is winning last week's New South Wales Trotters Derby. Worked forward, good drive by David Butt. Now, here's Roy Hobbs outside of the leader, well back to win on this occasion. Roy Hobbs just maybe under a tad of pressure on the home bend there, went into a gallop. But this is a concern with the horse at the moment. Can make mistakes, and as much talent as he's got, I think Habibti's pretty much foolproof, and she'll be good enough to do a bit of work and still be there right at the finish. You can see it was just an arrogant win at the finish, never out of second gear, much the same as winning the New South Wales Oaks the previous week. So there she is, Habibti, and that's why I like her to win the home field tonight. And she is my best bet of the night. Short but sweet at the $1.70 fixed odds. Race 8, number 9, Habibti. Let's go over to the 9th event now tonight at Melton. And once again on this very strong program for the trotters. I think Stoned I Am. He's been a frustrating trotter, but I think he's found the right race here tonight. Drawn out wide, but can muster good gate speed. Stuck to the task really well. Actually looked like winning last week and only just missed out. I know it's been a long time between drinks, but Stoned I Am's not going to find a more suitable race tonight. So, number 6, Stoned I Am on top. Kai Valley Blur. Now, this is one of 2 North American imports for Chris Lang, and the other one being Aldebaran Turnpike. I think both of them have got the makings of wonderful trotters. Kai Valley Blur, very, very good, winning second up last time, but has drawn inside of the back row. Aldebaran Turnpike likes to balance up and run home in its races, so barrier 1 won't be ideal. And Mr. Independent is racing superbly well for the team as well, and has barrier 4. But this is Stoned I Am's perfect race. Time to stand up tonight ahead of the Chris Lang pair, 6, 8, 1 and 4 in race 9. Let's go to race 10. And the claimers, I mentioned last week that they are exasperating races because they tend to almost take it in turns, these horses. It's all about getting the right spot in the run. Now, Wash Me Pockets simply couldn't get into the race last week. It says ran 8th, and it was actually a good 8th. Ran home well after never looking a winning chance and wasn't too far away at the finish. There's no doubt Wash Me Pockets is down on its best form, but it's drawn nicely, and I think it can sort of bludgeon its way into the race. Really small little horse who just has to be on the speed in its races, and this looks very, very suitable. Time for it to deliver on something like its best form tonight, Wash Me Pockets. Baltic Ice, in and out. Another front of the field horse who can improve markedly on recent form. Djibouti's a big, strong, one-paced animal, but should be thereabouts at this level. And Aneden Hustler is way, way down on the form it's shown at the peak of its career, but has gate speed and barrier 2. 3, 4, 6 and 2 in a tricky race, but it's really time for Wash Me Pockets to show what's left in the tank. Let's go over to race 11 now. And this really should just be a matter of how far for 5th and Broadway. Regally bred young horse, absolutely waltzed in last start, and I really don't see this being that much harder. Precious Dragon looks to have a little bit of potential. Chasing Chelsea's got gate speed, but 5th and Broadway, bolted in last start, probably should just waltz on forward, get the lead, win, and win comfortably. It'll be very short. 5, to beat 3, Precious Dragon, who keeps on getting better, like the second up win, but this is going to be harder again. Dylan Daphne's drawn nicely. Number 6, American Para, won't be far away. And Chasing Chelsea's got to be respected as well from barrier 1. But I put them in 5, 3, 2 and 6 there in race 11. And over to the last of 12 on the marathon program at 10:40. Really don't like this race, hence the fact I'm going around the favourite Earth Angel, who probably will start about $1.80 or maybe in the red. Earth Angel didn't have a lot of luck at the start last time and probably should have won, but I don't think it's any star. I think Caledonian Attack's on the rise and might represent better value. Number 4 to beat the favourite Earth Angel. Next best number 6, 1 to Love, and then My Lishy from the pole could get into a minor placing. 4, 8, 6 and 1 from me in the last of 12. Now we have got that jackpot. Let's highlight it once again. Jackpot of $25,000 going into the Big Six pool, so it's a good one to play in tonight. That first leg, race 3 at 20 minutes past 6 tonight. Here's my suggested Big Six. I'm going 1 out in the first leg, Stately. So we need the young trotter to do everything right. But in what's a pretty wide Big Six, we had to cut the cost somewhere. 11 the first leg, 1, 5, 6 the second leg, 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11 there in race 5. Race 6, 1, 4, 5, 7 and 10. Race 7, it's 1, 2, 4, 6, 10 and 13. And then coming home the last leg with numbers 7 and 9, that being Roy Hobbs for a bit of insurance and Habibti in the last leg. But as I said, I think Habibti, as we wrap up the preview, I think Habibti in race 8, number 9, really does look the standout of the night. Very, very keen on it, race 8, number 9. And over to race 5, number 1, Repellum. As I mentioned on the run-through, it could represent, well, it's nowhere near the odds I thought it would be, but if you can get around $3, something like that, I think Repellum's well worth a bet tonight. So a tremendous program coming up. Don't forget that $25,000 Big Six jackpot, and good luck if you're playing at Melton tonight.
This preview brought to you by Harness Racing Victoria.